Imagine a world where loyalty is an illusion, where promises are broken the moment they are made, where men will fight beside you today and strike you tomorrow if fortune shifts. This world is not fantasy, it is reality. And Niccolò Machiavelli captured it in words that rulers have studied for centuries. He wrote, "Men are ungrateful, fickle, liars, deceivers. They shun danger and are greedy for gain." This is the first law of darkness. Never trust men to remain loyal. Machiavelli's wisdom begins with a single, brutal observation, that human nature itself is corrupt. Men are quick to serve when they seek a reward. They bow when they need protection. They swear loyalty when times are good. But when danger appears, when fortune turns, gratitude dies, promises collapse. Love dissolves, think of it. How many kingdoms have fallen, not to outside armies, but to betrayal within. How many rulers believed in loyalty, only to be abandoned in their hour of need. Machiavelli warns that this is not a rare tragedy, it is the rule. To build power on loyalty is to build on sand. He writes, "Men are driven not by loyalty to gratitude, but by fear of punishment and the hope of gain." It is tempting to believe in friendship, tempting to believe in loyalty, but Machiavelli demands you see reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. Love is convenient, gratitude is temporary, self-interest is eternal. And so the wise ruler does not rely on loyalty. He does not assume gratitude. He prepares for betrayal before it arrives. This is not only the truth of kings and princes, it is the truth of men in every age. The ally who betrays when fortune shifts, the friend who envies your success, the follower who deserts when danger rises. Machiavelli tells us, if you forget this law, you will fall. If you remember it, you will endure. So what should a ruler do? If love fades and loyalty fails, what force can bind men in obedience? The answer is his next law, and it is one of the most feared lessons of all time. A ruler must not choose love, he must choose fear. Machiavelli asks a question that still echoes through history. Is it better for a ruler to be loved or to be feared? He does not hesitate. His answer is sharp, merciless, unforgettable. It is much safer to be feared than loved. Love is fragile, fear endures. Love depends on the will of others. It is a gift they give and then take away. Men will claim to love their ruler until hardship comes. When danger rises, when profit appears, love is the first thing to die. But fear is different. Fear is not voluntary. Fear binds men with chains they cannot break. It forces obedience, even when the heart resists. Machiavelli writes, "Love is preserved by a bond of obligation, which men, being selfish, break whenever it suits them. But fear is preserved by the dread of punishment, which never fails." This is the second dark law of power. Fear is safer than love. But here Machiavelli gives a warning. Fear must never become hatred. Hatred is poison. Hatred drives rebellion, assassination, and ruin. A ruler who is feared is obeyed. A ruler who is hated is destroyed. So the wise ruler strikes a balance. He uses fear to ensure obedience, but avoids the actions that spark hatred. He does not take a man's property. He does not dishonor his family. For Machiavelli says, men more quickly forget the death of their father than the loss of their inheritance. This is the path of true power. Do not rely on love. Do not hope for gratitude. Instead, secure obedience with fear, but never step so far that fear turns into hatred. Think on history. The rulers who relied on love fell quickly. The rulers who were feared endured, and those who were hated were destroyed by their own people. This is the second law of darkness. To rule, choose fear over love. But Machiavelli's wisdom cuts even deeper, for he reveals that fear and love are not the final tools of power. There is something greater, something darker, a truth so dangerous that for centuries rulers kept it hidden. The end justifies the means. Every age has asked the same question: what is right? What is wrong? What is good? What is evil? Philosophers spoke of virtue. Priests demanded morality. But Machiavelli, he tore the veil away. He declared a truth that shocked the world, a truth whispered in courts, feared in churches, but used by every ruler who craved survival. In the actions of men, we look only to the result. The end justifies the means. This is the third law of darkness. Judge not by actions, but by outcomes. A ruler, Machiavelli says, cannot afford the luxury of morality. He must not ask, is this right? He must ask, will this secure my power? Cruelty may be condemned, but if cruelty preserves the state, it becomes necessity. Deception may be hated, but if deception brings victory, it becomes wisdom. Machiavelli understood that people do not remember the path, only the destination. A ruler who brings peace will be praised, no matter how much blood was spilled to achieve it. A ruler who secures power will be honored, no matter how many lies carried him there. History crowns the victorious, not the virtuous. He wrote, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see, but few can feel. Everyone sees what you appear to be, but few know what you really are." And so the wise ruler does what must be done. He wears the mask of virtue. He speaks of honor, of justice, of faith. But beneath the mask, he wields cruelty, deception, and force whenever they are necessary. The people will not remember the hidden hand. They will remember only the result. The state preserved, the throne secure, the ruler victorious. This is the ruthless core of Machiavelli's teaching. Victory erases sin. Success silences morality. The end justifies the means. But this law leads us to the final, most dangerous lesson of all. It is not enough to use fear, not enough to wear masks of virtue, not enough to justify every action with the promise of results. No, the ruler must master one final weapon, a weapon sharper than steel, stronger than armies, more enduring than fear itself. Fortune, the cruel mistress who decides the fate of every man, and how the wise ruler must learn to bend her to his will. Even the most cunning ruler cannot escape one force, one mistress that governs the rise and fall of men. Fortune. Machiavelli calls her unpredictable, wild, and ruthless. Half of life she controls. The rest, he writes, is left to skill, strategy, and boldness. Fortune favors the bold. Those who hesitate, those who wait for chance, are swept away. Those who act boldly, decisively, without hesitation, shape the world in their image. To rule is to dance with fate. To conquer is to embrace risk. To survive is to bend fortune to your will before she bends you. Machiavelli's final law is simple and terrifying. Do not wait. Do not hope act. And act boldly. For those who hesitate, power will vanish. For those who are decisive, empires are forged. And so the dark playbook of power is complete. Men cannot be trusted. Fear commands more than love. Morality is measured by outcomes. Boldness bends fortune itself. These are the truths rulers have followed, and the truths the world still obeys. Now the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you ignore it, or step into the shadows and see the world as it truly is? If you thirst for more forbidden wisdom, more laws that the world hides, subscribe and step deeper into the darkness. Because in this world, knowledge is power, and power belongs to the bold.